Michael Joseph Jackson was an American singer, songwriter, dancer, and philanthropist. Dubbed the King of Pop, he is regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. Over a 4-decade career, his contributions to music, dance, and fashion, along with his publicized personal life, made him a global figure in pop culture. The 8th child of the Jackson family, Michael made his professional debut in 1964 as a member of the Jackson 5. He began his solo career in 1971 while at Motown Records and is one of the best-selling music artists of all time. He had 13 Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles, more than any other male artist in the Hot 100 era, and was the first artist to have top 10 single on the Billboard Hot 100 in 5 different decades. He is regarded by the RIAA as the highest-selling individual music artist of all time worldwide. In 2016, his estate earned $825 million, the highest yearly amount for a celebrity ever recorded by Forbes. And y'all, he was already dead at that point. He is largely credited with helping propel the success of MTV. In 2009, while preparing for a series of comeback concerts, Jackson died from an overdose of propofol administered by his personal physician, Conrad Murray. Murray was later convicted in 2011 of involuntary manslaughter. But Michael had been telling everyone who would listen that he was afraid he would be murdered for his catalog.
I truly feel that Conrad Murray is simply the fall guy. This was definitely something that was premeditated, that they had planned to do, and they planned to take my brother out, and my brother knew it, and that's why he told me repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly that this was going to happen to him.
Let's take a deeper look into what he tried to warn us about.
This is very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. People from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. The record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish.
You know, being the artist that I am at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah!
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know.
But that ownership wouldn't last forever. Shortly after Michael passed away, Sony would begin acquiring back all of those rights that Michael had worked so hard to obtain. And by July 2018, Sony Corp acquired the remaining 25.1% stake from the estate of Michael Jackson. They paid $287.5 million for it, and that was all she wrote, with Michael Jackson's estate being able to make money off of that publishing catalog. Now you might be wondering, like I was, why would his family sell that? Good question. His family is not in charge of his estate. Let's get into it. Meet John Branca. He's the executor of the Michael Jackson estate, and according to Michael's mom, Michael did not trust this man. Just days after Michael died, John Branca filed Michael's will in the California courts, and he happened to be the executor of the estate. Well, Michael Jackson's mom definitely contested that at first and said that she didn't even believe that that was accurate or a good will. But eventually she dropped her argument and let it go on in the way that it was going on with the administration of the will. Now, I thought it was very interesting that the lawyer who represented Michael Jackson's mom in that case is none other than Adam Streisand. That's right, he's the lawyer who Britney had hired to represent her way back in 2008 when her conservatorship started, but the judge was like, no, you can't hire a lawyer because you're not competent. I just thought it's very weird that this same man keeps popping up everywhere in all these cases, but it's even more weird because he's not the only repeat lawyer between Britney and Michael Jackson's estate. Let's look a little deeper. Just 3 or 4 months after Michael actually passed away, his team still released a documentary called This Is It. And 2 very familiar characters are given credit on the This Is It IMDb page for their work on this documentary. Those 2 figures are Gerald and Geraldine. You will know them most likely as Jamie Spears' longtime lawyers in Britney Spears' conservatorship. Y'all, they even started as Jamie's lawyers at the very beginning of the conservatorship. According to recent reports, Michael had even called Britney just a couple weeks before he died to warn her about the dangers and the toxicity of Hollywood and the music industry. But if I had to guess, Britney already was well aware of that since she had been in a fraudulent conservatorship for at least a year at that time. And wouldn't you know, Adam Streisand, Gerald Cohen, and Geraldine Weil are not the only players in common between Britney and Michael Jackson's team. There's also Michael Caine. Michael Caine was hired by Team Con and Britney's conservatorship before the conservatorship was ever terminated. You see, Lou Taylor had stepped down as business manager at the height of the Free Britney movement in November 2020. As her replacement, Michael Caine. I guess all the overlap of these people between Britney and Michael's estate could possibly be a coincidence, or maybe they're just the only people in the world who know how to do this type of work. I'm really not sure, but I wanted to note it to y'all how many people and players have overlapped between these 2 cases.
He explained it to me. He explained it's because of my catalog, which is my publishing, and they're after it, and they want it, and they want their hands on it, and they want to take it away from me. So Michael developed this love-hate relationship with his catalog. I don't want it because it's going to destroy my life. No, it's mine. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to let them rip it apart and take it from me. This went back and forth. Michael had notes in his house saying how he hates John Branca. He hates Randy Phillips. He doesn't want them around. He'll never fly with them. He just went on and on expressing how he felt about these people. These people were all involved. Mind you, the will, I truly believe and I know that the will is fake. Because Michael was in New York when the will was signed, and they say he signed it in LA, and he did not. And they know this. But yet they put themselves as the executors on this estate. There was another guy that was in the will, Barry Siegel. But he pleasantly removed himself from it. Why would he do that? Because he knew that it was fake and he wasn't going to get involved in the skullduggery. That's why.